purpose of this video clip is to teach you how to use Excel to calculate the mean average of your data. We're going to use the same data that we used in Know Your Data, but we're going to calculate the averages this time as part of your exercise. From your Excel practice, you should know that this is cell A12. If you go to this function key, you're going to want to make sure that in the drop-down box in the middle, you're at the statistical data. Then Excel considers the mean the average. I do realize your textbook has told you that mean, median, mode are all various forms of averages, but mean average is what's commonly considered average. Click on average and then click OK. Now Excel will default and tell you what it thinks you want to average, but my recommendation is never take it for granted that Excel knows what you want to do, and always go back, highlight by clicking A2 with the left click and drag down your box to A11, then click OK. Now you will see that down here you have 67.8 as your average, and up on the formula bar it says what formula you used to get that. Equal sign means you use some kind of mathematical calculation or formula. Average, and then it tells you what cells are involved in that average. In fact, if you click on that part of the formula, it will come over here and show you in a colored box what cells were involved in that average. Let's do that again just so that you can learn. I hit escape just to get out of there so you can see. So if I click in B12, I'm going to go to the formula. I'm going to click on average because statistical is already up there. I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to tell it by left click on B2. I'm going to drag this marquee type box all the way down to B11. Then I'm going to click OK. Another way to get averages across when we have several columns and you're going to average each column individually. If you see on B12, whenever you're indicating any particular cell, that it makes a bold box around it. On the right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner of that box is another separate box. See that little box there? When your cursor becomes a cross over that box, you left click and then drag that over to the next column. Now, that tells the computer that do whatever you did for column B, but do that to column C. And if you look, you will see in C12, you have the answer, the average temperature is 98.15, but you will look in the formula bar and it will say your average of C2 through C11. The other thing I want to show you is when you use the copy and paste. If I want to copy, say, A2 through A6, and then hit Control C, and I'm just going to bring it over to the F column over here, and I hit enter, it copies it over there. Copy means it's going to make a copy of it and then you're not going to lose it. I'm going to do the same thing with A7 through A11. I highlight it and I'm going to do a Control C, and then I'm going to click on G2 and do the same thing. Now what I want to show you here is if I click down below, start a new cell, I want to do the average of these two columns together. So if I do function, average, OK, but I don't want to do what the computer thinks I'm going to do. What I want to do is I'm going to left click on F2. I'm going to drag it down, but then I'm going to go over so it hits both those columns. So beginning is F2, the last cell I want it to use is G6, and I click OK. And G, it comes out the exact same as it did here. That's using average key when you have multiple columns that you want to average. In the next clip, we will try and do median and mode. Thanks.